David Fitzsimmons is here. Okay. Well, to put on an event like this, it does require quite a few people. It requires about 30 to 40 people, actually, to put on an event like this. So I'm not going to spend all this time acknowledging everybody, but I do want to thank all of our volunteers, everyone that's done a great job to put this event together. But I do want to recognize a few people on our auction committee. Matthew and Helen Boyd, Dean and Karen Chaussee, Myra Kreischeck, who did all the photography, pictures, the brochure, thank you very much. Kathy Davison, who is out doing the tallies right now, thank you very much. Miriam Lindemeyer, who is right there, thank you very much. Sherry Moreau, and Julie Roche, thank you very much. So when we thought about our theme for this year, we were a little tepid, we really thought long and hard about what we wanted our theme to be. But we decided to be bold. This was 2 months ago before the elections, before we knew what the results were going to be. And we decided that we wanted to think about 2020. So, we've had a good 2018, yes? Yes. We may not have been the tsunami that we had hoped for, but it was definitely a wave. Yes. I definitely can surf on that wave. So let me just give you some results. So right now, in the House for Arizona, we're at 29-31. We are the closest we've ever been since 1968. We now have a Democrat for the Superintendent of Education. We have a Democrat on the corporation. Congressional District 2, we have a Democrat. We have elected all of our local representatives again. So we have Daniel Hernandez here. And we have Rosanna Galadan. Where is she? There we go. And hopefully, after this weekend, Martha McSally will not have a job. But this is not a time to be complacent. This is not a time to relax yet. Yes, we can celebrate tonight. Maybe we can breathe a little bit. But we need to start thinking about 2020. And our success really starts at the local level. It starts with this organization. We have 400 members in this organization. And it's without all of your support that we couldn't have had this kind of success. So thank you very much. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year. This is where we make most of our money. And so we appreciate your generosity, and we hope to continue with that generosity tonight. We have some great live auction items. So with further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dean. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out tonight. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you. I think Terry pretty well covered it, so good night. I just want to acknowledge a couple of things here before we get started. This is the 100th anniversary of World War I. And so the paper, Arizona Star, covered that nicely today. So I would like to have all the veterans stand up, those from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War, Afghanistan, any conflict that you were involved in. Please stand. Thank you all so much for your service. We lost one of our very best supporters a few weeks ago, Joyce McGlaston. I hope many of you knew her, had the chance to get to know her. She was a member of the DCSRA board, for several years, and then she decided she wanted to just take care of management of the office, the headquarters. I'm sorry, Barbara, for the headquarters. And so she did that, and she did a wonderful job. And she was there and scheduled activities and took care of buying things, made sure the bathroom was clean, and worked out all the sidewalk sales and all that kind of thing. She was just really did a wonderful job. She was really the go-to person whenever we had a question about anything involving the headquarters. And then when she left, we actually divided that job up into 3 different positions. So she covered an awful lot. She was a fierce advocate for democratic ideals and just a wonderful person to know. So I'd like to have a moment of silence while we think about Joyce and the many others of those of us here, all the friends that we have in the Democratic organization. Thank you. We will miss Joyce. A special thanks to our patrons and sponsors, and you'll find them in the back page in your program here. And I do have one couple that got overlooked in that list, and that's Paul and Jackie Davis. So you can add that in and put that in there. And a special thanks to everybody who has worked so hard this year to elect our Democratic candidates. All of those that knocked on doors, made phone calls, held house parties, attended house parties, went to meet the candidates, and donated money. All of you, I really appreciate that. Several people I wanted to highlight. Yukari Avantash, you might have met her. She was from the coordinated campaign, and she did a wonderful job of keeping everything coordinated and keeping it going there. And also Arlene Ostlund and Nan Lux. Arlene and Nan, will you raise your hand? Because they spent hours and hours down there sending canvassers out. And I got some data on that. We had 29 people that volunteered to canvass, and some of those came from out of state. We even had people from California and Massachusetts that I know of that came to help us out. We had 29 people that knocked on 18,000 doors in Green Valley and Sahuarita. Then we had 35 people that volunteered to do phone calling. And that's kind of a frustrating process because, you might try to call 50 people and you'll maybe get a hold of 5 or 6. But we did make contact with a lot of people. They actually made 23,000 phone calls. So we've got to know that that kind of effort that everybody put on really made a difference in this election. And I do want to mention that DCSRA had a lot of help, and especially from A4A, the Alliance for Action, bringing in candidates so that we could meet with them, get to see them face to face. And also the LD2, Legislative District 2 people were really very helpful. And then there were other groups that sprung up across the country. There was one group called Indivisible, which produced some wonderful material that guided all of us. And they actually established, they had over 6,000 local units across the United States. And then there was another one called Swing Left, which also, all of those were working to elect progressive candidates. So they were all on our side. So it all helped. So DCSRA was great in what we did, but we also had lots of help. Looking at the blue wave, and Terry covered an awful lot of this, but a couple of things I wanted to highlight. We kind of forget the election took place, but before that even happened, there were 40 Republican congressmen and senators that said, ooh, I can see this coming. I don't think I want any part of it. So they just opted out. So we had 40 to start with. I think they just didn't want to face the music of the Trump presidency. And then, I don't have a number on this, but the vast number of women that ran this year was just great. I think that was wonderful. And just remember that on the national level, we took back the House. Yeah. So we now have a way to block the Trump organization. There were some disappointments in the gubernatorial elections across the country, but we do now hold 23 governor's positions with 2 races. Georgia and Florida still, I haven't heard anything lately, but they're still in the mix. So who knows, if those come across the Democratic side, it could be really great. The other thing to remember is that with the governor's side, that we have 2 of the most populous states, California and New York, and we also control some swing states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, that Trump won in 2016. So we have runoffs in Florida and Georgia, and I was looking at some of the other results. Minnesota and Iowa, there are a couple of Dems there that are running for state legislature, and they were only behind by 8 votes the last time I looked. So possibilities are good there. In Illinois, there was one local state race where the person was behind by 2 votes. So if anybody tells you that your vote doesn't count, forget it. There was a big voter turnout this time around. 114 million votes were cast in the U.S. House races, and compared to about 83 million back in 2014. So people really came out.